the stiff truth.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Stiff Truth. We're doing it again, baby. I'm Scott Casanova. And of course, this sexy man here on the other side is Bob West. Bob, man, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, but how the hell you doing, man? It's, been about about 10, 15 minutes since we chatted last.
Since 10 or 15 minutes ago, I've been doing really good. I'd also like to point out before we get the show started that I saw something on Facebook, and this is how I keep track of everything because I'm an idiot, right? And I probably have a little bit of autism, and I don't pay attention to things unless it's in my feed, right? So I would like to go ahead and congratulate one of our stiffies, Mike Lenz, and his lovely wife Elena on their 20th anniversary.
Oh, that is a milestone right there. I hope I make it that far. I'm just saying that's a lot. That's a lot of work right there.
What an achievement for my wife to survive 20 years dealing with me would be like award worthy.
Well, hey, with that being said, I think he deserves a little cheers here. So why don't you grab your, what the hell we got here? A cranium meltdown here.
Cranium meltdown for the lenses. Congratulations.
There we go. Mazel.
That's a fine drink. It's very worthy of the show. Right, it's very stiff. You can taste the stiffness. In fact, I made my wife one as I was making me too, of course. And she wanted me to tame the thing down, so I had to add a little bit more coconut rum, a little bit more pineapple juice, make it a little bit more palatable for her because Run 51 maybe not her thing.
Yeah, you're all. Hey, I'm gonna dole this down a little bit here. Let me add some more low proof rum and some other stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Seriously, though, this is, the name itself, Cranium Meltdown. That's a badass name if I've ever heard one. Maybe trying a little too hard, but I like it. It's catchy. And this drink is no punk bitch, like you're saying here. And just so the stiffies can get out there and mix it up. First thing, before I get into the deets here on the ingredients here, let's take a little look at the different styles of putting things together here, Bob. I used a martini glass. I have some raspberries and blueberries in there, too. And Bob got his in a little called what is that, like a whiskey glass? Yeah, a low ball whiskey glass kind of. Yeah. I like your style, sir. And I wanted to kind of coordinate this, but you didn't answer your fucking phone. So here we are, just mixing things up, and that's okay. But
hey, I was busy being like punctual for once.
Hold on. Today I need to actually pump the brakes here on my passive aggressive, or maybe not so passive, insults and stabs, because you did a fabulous job today preparing for the show, and everybody is going to reap the rewards of that, Bob. We're very proud of you. But getting into this drink here, this one's a good one. I think this is only the second time we've cracked the 151, the overproofed rum. Am I correct in that? Or are you back there sucking on yours all the time?
The level of my bottle would confirm your theory.
Yes. Yes. So what we got here, guys, is we go ahead and get that mixing shaker ready, and we throw some ice in that bad boy. And then we do equal parts of four things. A very, very simple drink. Not a lot of mixology to this, not a lot of delicatessen kind of stuff going on here. But basically what we got is half ounce of overproof rum, 151, half ounce of black raspberry liqueur, or Chambord, if you like the name brand stuff. That's what I got. Then you got a half ounce of coconut rum, and then just a half ounce of something with no booze, and that's pineapple juice. Shake that bitch like what, Bob? Like
Michael J. Fox.
Yes, get in there. Late stages Parkinson kind of shake. I mean, a violent one. Just get in there. He can't even hold his glass. It's so nasty. Dump that into whatever kind of glass you want. Obviously, it looks nice in a martini glass or a lowball glass. And boom, bang, bing, bong. That, my friends, is a Cranium Meltdown. It does have I'm going to say this. It's got a front taste, like the beginning taste. It's got a middle taste and a pretty wicked aftertaste of overproof rum. There's no hiding that. Am I right, my friend?
Oh, yeah. The rum is in it to win it. You have to appreciate 151 if you're going to have this drink. And I will say that it's not quite a shot, but it's a pounder. Yeah. Right. This is a drink that you get when you first walk into the bar and be like, give me a Cranium Meltdown. Let's get started. And you just pound that fucker and just move right on to the actual drinking, the measured drinking at that point. And I think that's kind of the idea, the Cranium Meltdown. It'll just get you going right there. It's a 2-pump chump. It's in and out. It's down and dirty. It's short and sweet.
Are you talking about the drink? Or are you talking about my sex life now? What's going on here? But seriously,
the drink, of course.
I've got for people out there that, how do I say this delicately without putting me and Bob pigeonholed too much in a bad light? But for people that aren't seasoned drinkers like Bob and I, maybe you don't start, and I'm just throwing this out there as a PSA, maybe you don't start the day by pounding a Cranium Meltdown. But if you do have some stamina, some alcoholic drinking stamina, then I definitely concur with that assessment and recommendation there, because you're right. This is how you get in from a hard day, and like you're hitting the bar or wherever you're at, hitting Bob's house, with that lovely bar you have in the new pool. And this is how you just knock the edge right the fuck off. You know what I mean? Just clean off. Like, you don't even know where the edge went after you pound a couple of these.
Yeah, if you get started with the heavy thrust of the Cranium Meltdown, then you can maintain that nice medium pace and get a little bit of edging and tantric drinking going on.
Man, are we talking about my sex life again?
Oh, man.
Come on. What a dandy here. You know what? I'm going to stay, and I'm just going to say this right now. I'm going to stay right there in the alphabetical order of the bartender book for our next drink too, as you know.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it today.
Yeah, I'm in the C's, baby. Don't ruin it yet. Don't give it away yet. But there's some dandies up there in the early part of the alphabet. I'll just say that right now. So looking forward to more C named drinks coming soon.
Yeah, like Comedy Central.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know where that came from. But Bob, I mean, we should just get right into it here. We got a lot of goods to talk about today, a lot of good stuff here. I don't know where you want to start, but I'm just going to have a little fun with this. I'm going to kick it over to you and just Russian roulette this bad boy of topics. And let's just start wherever you want to, buddy, because there's a lot of fun ones in there. And I think you just got to go with what really speaks to you first, Bob. So throw it over to you.
Well, I mean, I think we first have to address your background. So I think we need to start there.
What's wrong with my background?
There. Well, nothing for a huge pile of shit.
I believe that's a baby's diaper in there too. I think some napkins from Walmart.
It looks like a courtesy bathroom in the parking lot of like a country music concert at Isleta Amphitheater. That's what it looks like.
Yummy.
Mm-hmm. You got to love those porta potties. So for those not watching on YouTube on the podcast right now, Scott's got a really overflowing, nasty, down scoping picture of the inside of a porta potty seat that's just about to overflow with just this nice little dainty dingle at the very top. That's cute.
So if you're eating, get off the podcast platforms right now and jump on YouTube. You won't be sorry. It's a dream. You're right.
It's a way to stay keto.
Stay something.
So apparently, a woman fell into it wasn't this type of porta potty.
No,
let's just like wind that back. So anyone that's ever gone camping, right, in the national forest, God bless them. They do what they can. They don't have a lot of funds, but they have these wooden crack shacks out there to go, drop your deuces in. And it's basically just a 10-foot by 10-foot hole in the ground with a toilet popped on top of it.
These are like old school outhouses, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the kind that have the vent tube going up so that it doesn't like explode.
Yeah,
in the hot sun. Yeah, those guys, those old ones, and they always smell of, man, I don't even know what do you call that? Sanitation blue. It's just that smell.
That's actually the new Aqua di Giorgio flavor, or like a fragrance they have now that I'm actually picking up. Little blue sanitation love. Yeah, it's that in a mixture of just filth, human filth. It's usually a pungent, not going to forget this kind of, it's memorable. Let's just put it at that, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to mess it up as far as where this person was from. So I'm trying to
I'll help you out here. They were in
Washington.
Olympic National Park in Washington State. Now, what I love about this article too, they don't even give a fake name to this lady. Apparently she was ultra embarrassed. She didn't even let them hazmat suit clean her up and everything too. Like the hardcore sterilization cleaning that she probably needed. She literally just said, no, that's cool. I don't want to get clean. I just need to get the fuck out of here. I got to go home. This is so embarrassing. But Bob, what happened though? Why did she fall in this just big hole of human filth?
So first off, she was most likely TikToking. while she's
Most
dropping
likely.
a deuce or going
Most
potty or
likely.
whatever she's doing, right? Because as per usual. So she drops her phone in the pit of abyss.
Oh
And
no.
this is like, oh man, it's at minimum 6 to 10 feet, right? It's always way down there. So she drops her phone in there, and then she's like grabbing sticks, and she's trying to get her phone out of there. And obviously, she has a new phone because it must be waterproof, or you just write it off right away.
I I imagine this is like a brand spanking new. Like she literally was taking the little plastic film that sticks to the front of the screen off of her iPhone 13 Pro. She just got it from T-Mobile, just re-upped her contract. She's feeling good about
Did
things.
not check the 4-year cooking break coverage for
She
it.
did
Obviously,
not. In fact, she declined the insurance actually, like the lost and theft. She's like, yeah, you know what? I'm already spending like a G on a phone. I'm gonna forego the leather seats this time, and I'm
like,
just
who
gonna
needs
kind
that
of
$12 a month?
I'm gonna balls to the walls this one. I'm just gonna live my life, right? But yes, and the other thing that was really funny here, Bob, as you're reading it, she had a series, it says. So she must have had, this makes sense. She must have been walking her dog or dogs out in the national forest. Makes sense. A lot of people do that on trails.
Sure.
She tied together a series of leashes to kind of put herself inside the cavern, so to speak, of shit.
Well, first, Scott, she tried to fish them out with the leashes.
Yeah.
I imagine with the handle, with the circle, right? Trying to loop it around the phone and then just kind of give it a good yank.
Boy,
So this phone is now flopping around in the blue maintenance smell and poop.
Hey, you know what? And the reason why she thought they'd do that, I imagine, again, this is just hypothetical. You know those claw machines that you get the stuffed animals out of? She's really good at those. She's like, this kind of a makeshift claw machine. I can do this. Watch
like,
this.
$1.50 tops. It's that phone is mine.
So fine.
So she does all this, right? She can't get her phone out. So like you said, she tied a few of them together, wrapped it around herself, and proceeds to go MI6.
Now, hold on. Before you start telling how she kind of channeled her inner Tom Cruise here, the series of leashes are tied together. Where are her dogs? I imagine they're inside of the porta potty with her so they don't run away. So I don't know. I'm just kind of,
or they could just be running around just with reckless abandon, just running around outside. She no longer cares. Maybe they'll fend off the bears while she's in her endeavor here.
They're basically their lookout. They're watching point right now, right?
She's like, if I hear one yelp and then stop barking, I'm in trouble.
Okay, so basically their lookout right now. So again, she lowers herself in, and I don't know what happened here. I don't know if it even says this in the article. I don't know if the makeshift like shimmy line that she made down there broke or something like that.
It did. It broke.
Okay.
So she had it and she was trying to go down, and her leash concoction that she MacGyvered wasn't very MacGyvery. It was about 2 paper clips short, and she in a gum wrapper, and she fell in head first. Into the abyss, head first.
Now, let's unpack this for a little bit here in the sense of like, first of all, fuck Bob, just stop laughing for a minute. Have some empathy.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing like this crazy wild-haired person over the edge of a toilet going Greg Louganis while her dogs are barking out there, fending off the bears.
Swan diving it in there.
Hitting her head on the edge of the toilet on the way in, blood spattering everywhere while she's going head first.
Just like Greg, baby.
Sorry to wind it back 25 years. But,
that's okay. I think most of our listeners will know about the Olympic great of Greg Louganis. But yes, here's what I got to unpack here. Again, I just want to put myself in this woman's shoes. Again, brand new phone, ripping the plastic off that badass new fucking iPhone. It slips, it falls in. Obviously, there's that doom and gloom and just ultimate defeat there, but she's not going to give up. She's a badass. And like you said, she's going to get in there Mission Impossible style and take things out. Now, I imagine here she's like trying so hard and she's pushing forward. She's got those leashes, like just straining bad. And she's like, but she's going in head first. And I have a feeling she's straining and she's trying to reach and just quite not there. And then like it gives way. And then the smack of shit on the top of your dome here. Here's the other thing too. I've never taken a shit bath. I don't know if anybody has that like willingful. I don't know. Bob, have you?
No, I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
But I have to imagine that it hits like it smells, right? And it probably even more so because it's like front and center and right there, man. So what do you do at this point? Do you freak out, start flapping your arms around like you can't swim or something like that?
No,
Does it
no.
start to suck you under? What happens?
How does the forget Greg Louganis. This was an effortless swan dive with like one drop of turd splashing up. It's like a 10, right? She just like slipped right on into it. Now, did she slip on into it, freak out like, oh my God, I'm in shit, and then grab her phone? Or is she grabbing that puppy's blue light on the way down?
Oh,
like, this is the last effort, and I've got this fucker in my hand now. That's a good question. Wondering the whole time, is this thing going to work? How am I going to get back to my Subaru?
Interesting. Yeah, she's definitely got an Outback. But the other interesting thing that I can see in this too is, you remember the movie Backdraft with Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's that close to the end scene where he's like holding axe. Remember the guy that actually started the fires, and he's holding on with one hand to the rope. And remember, he's got the classic Kurt Russell
the cheek quiver from the strain. Yeah.
Good. And then with the other hand, he's holding on to his boy. He's like, you go, we go. And he's like, let me go. I'm kind of picturing that being the scene, not like a swan dive head in first, but maybe like still has the leash, has now got her phone in her hand, but she knows it's giving way. She has to make that decision. And of course, she really needs that phone. So she just drops it and just, again, kind of falls right in there. But either way, we're in there now. We're in the shit. Here's the other interesting thing. We're like 8 to 10 feet down. There's no jumping out of this sticky shit, piss, fucking bloody tampon
she's
mixture of nastiness.
No way out. Now she's trapped.
But she's got her phone. The story is looking up. There is light at the end of the shitter, so to speak here. So what does she do, Bob?
She wipes the shit off the cover of her phone and she dials 911.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
and gets a signal in the middle of the forest, like 8 feet down into like a concrete cave of shit. You gotta keep reiterating it's full of shit.
Yeah, it's
not much like ourselves, but
yes, covered in shit, piss, and period blood.
And blue, maintenance blue smell.
Yeah, maintenance blue, which is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is the only positive of this story and this time and place of the story too. It does highlight though, and here's the other thing. She calls, but again, she's in the middle of the national forest. Shit says that she's in there dialing. I imagine she's like, how it's like, just stay on the phone with us, ma'am. And she's like, oh my God, it smells so bad, but I have my phone.
Or do you think she hits the square button and goes back to the home screen and starts TikToking? It's like, oh my God, I got 5 bars.
It's like, hey, they said they're en route. They're gonna be here in 10 minutes. I might as well just burn some time. I don't want to sit here and just think about being in shit. You know what I mean? I got to get my mind active here.
Look, one of my top follows posted something. Let's see.
But they highlight that she was down there for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a long time, right? Sometimes you sit on the shitter for 10 to 15 minutes, easy. But when you're covered and surrounded by wall to wall shit, just cooking shit too. I don't even know what temperature it was. It didn't say what time of year it was. If it's right now, then maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's in the 60s or 70s up there in the mountains, but still just hanging out for 15 minutes and shit. Finally, the police come and get her out. Here's the other funny thing. Did you hear this? They didn't just lift her out, Bob, but they had to drop in a series of bricks for her to use as stepping stones to reach a harness that they had in the hole of the shitter. So that was interesting to me too, is they couldn't just reach down there and help her. They had to provide assistance, almost like it was Super Mario Brothers, and these little bricks on top of the shit were forming that she could walk on, and she had to time it correctly to grab the harness or what have you. But oh my goodness. Do you think
she jumped up with phone in hand? Bong?
Yeah. Well, I imagine she tried to grab the harness. She's like, I can't get it. And the cops are like, you have to put down the phone. You have to put the phone in your pocket or something. It's like, or here, throw us the phone. She's like, oh no, you're not getting away with my new phone. Who knows? Oh my God. But she gets out. And like I mentioned before, she had declined to get the hazmat quality wash down and sterilization that she could have got from the EMT emergency crew out there. And she was like, you know what? I don't even want to give you my name. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going home. Please let me leave in my Subaru Outback. And she did. She left and she declined any kind of thing to help her get clean. Because I don't know about you, I'd be a little bit scared, Bob.
I'd be running the gamut of tests. They call it the shotgun. Give the shotgun test, right? At least that's what they call it in Grey's Anatomy. I don't know.
Right.
I already finished my second one. I guess I got
good.
Yeah, I'd be terrified. I'd be like, check me for all kinds of fucking bacteria. Like, I better just check me into the hospital for a few days. Let's give me the thumbs up before I go home, because something's gonna start growing inside of me, and I don't want that.
Man, I'll tell you what. When I saw this story, though, I chuckled. There's nothing. I don't think there's any way in hell that I'm ever going to, and I'm not even going to knock on wood here, Bob. I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to be bold here and just go ahead and say, I'm never going to fall face first and do a swan dive into a huge pile of shit in a outhouse in the woods. That's just me. I'm going to go ahead and call this one, so that she put herself in the situation that she could just, again, fall in head first to a big pile of steaming shit, piss, and blood. That's on you, homie.
I mean, what's the over under on that? I like 0.001%, or I don't even know.
Yeah, I guess I could never say never. You know what I mean? But I have to say an extremely low probability of that ever happening. Because honestly, here's the thing. We talked about it. I lose my phone in the shitter. I just kind of chalk it up as a loss. You know what I mean? And I cut my losses and I move on with my life and go get another phone.
I don't even look back. I don't even look back. I just like move forward and like, well, that happened.
Yeah. In fact,
I'm out of here.
I would come out of the porta potty and bitch to my dogs. Man, I just dropped my phone. I was like, this sucks. I got to get a new one. But yeah, I definitely don't go for a reconnaissance kind of rescue mission, so to speak.
The most interesting thing that happens that day is me calling the place to get a new phone and not explaining why I need a new phone. Not me running from the paramedics on my way home to go shower because I'm so embarrassed of like Greg Louganis-ing the shitter.
I'll tell you what, man, what a story though. What a story. But moving right along here, going from shit to his nice cousin piss. What about this guy? What about this manager in Arby's that was caught for something else, and then just as a nice little bonus.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I never saw anything that confirmed anything being caught with the original investigation. It went right on into the new thing.
Yeah.
I don't even think they found anything from the first, but let's get into the story.
Absolutely. What happened here? And again, I believe this is in Washington State as well. Am I
Washington's
incorrect?
The new Florida. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, I guess so here. But yes, it is. I remember now. It's in Vancouver, Washington, which is right over the border of Oregon, literally like a hop, skip, and a jump away from the border. And then the next big town is Portland, Oregon. So in Vancouver, Washington, a young man that is an assistant manager at Arby's was allegedly into child pornography. And as part of a, just what they were doing for him, did they have they had some kind of search warrant or something like that, because they were going through his phone, right?
They were executing a search warrant.
Yes.
On his property, on his phone, in a child pornography investigation case.
Now, this is pretty heavy shit. This guy's obviously a piece of shit, but again, that's pretty hardcore shit. You get busted for this, you're going to jail for a long time, and rightfully so. And as they're moseying through, ripping through his shit, they grab his phone. They're looking at videos. Obviously, that's a hot area to have some evidence for this kind of bullshit. And what do they see? This man filming himself taking a piss in the milkshake mixture bag at his work at Arby's. What a manager, by the way. But again, when asked why he did this, I love this. Obviously, dude, it's the same reason you and I do this behind closed doors. It's sexually fulfilling to piss in a milkshake bag. You know what I mean? So
sometimes in a pinch, I'll get powdered sugar. Quick substitute. I mean, it feels the same. It looks the same. It smells a little different, but
Well, you at least take the powdered sugar on road trips, so you make sure you don't have any lapse in release, so to speak, of sexual tension. But yeah, so we already know this is a piece of shit kind of person that we really can't understand, but the sexual gratification from pissing in a milkshake bag. Do you think the sexual gratification comes from the actual urinating, like he's into golden showers, or is it the mixology of the urine and the milkshake mixture that he's really looking for? The product, so to speak, of his.
Well, I am going to say that allegedly it was Stephen Sharp.
Oh, okay. Allegedly, we're just going to call him out here. Yes, that's how we do it at the Stiff Truth.
Stephen Sharp allegedly urinated in a milkshake mix. at Arby's. So we do have that, and I swear I saw a picture of him. And
let's give it a thumbs up. What's going on here?
He just looked like a real piece of shit. I mean, presumably so, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
well, and here's the other thing too.
Here it is. Here it is.
Go ahead.
Should I
should we out him? Absolutely.
No, I better not. Because what if I pull up the wrong picture? I don't want to like.
Well, what if he's found like innocent on all charges?
No, but what if it's not him? And the picture that I found isn't him. I'm not going to pull up a picture. I don't want to be wrong.
Some hardcore stiffies are going to like beat the shit out of some guy in a truck stop bathroom,
or just I don't want to catch a case of libel or something. So anyway, but it is from the article that I just read from the old New York Post. Gotta love that. Stephen Sharp, right? Stephen Sharp.
Stephen Sharp. That's the guy. That's
so yeah, he I don't know. Did he stick his junk in there? If it was sexual gratification, was he erect? Because I don't know if you've ever tried. You gotta give a little if you're fully erect. You can't just like go peeing if you're fully erect. There's like biological functions that prohibit that from happening. You gotta at least like get a little lean or a little bit softened like in the morning or something to get the job done there. So what was he erect? Was he semi-erect? Was he actually like sticking his junk in the powder? Was he just peeing from it afar? Like, where's the sexual gratification here? Is it just something he said? I don't know. I have all these questions about this dude's sexual deviance, and I'm never going to get answers.
That's very unsatisfying, isn't it? So one thing that we need to know here, well, and it's interesting too, because now as I recall, he told the police that he would pee in the mixture bag, like the milkshake bags, and throw them away because they asked like, oh my God, did you give this to customers? He's like, no, I didn't give it to, at least I don't think I gave it to customers. I'm pretty sure I threw the bags away. So again, where is the sexual gratification? I think it's literally the act of peeing, but like, why didn't he just like pee on like an animal or something weird or another inanimate object? I don't understand the milkshake bag. Or is he associating the milkshake mixture with semen? Is that what he's doing here?
I don't know. And in which case, why didn't he jizz in the bag? Like, go all in.
I mean, that to me sounds like a little bit more of sexual gratification, ejaculating into a milkshake bag. But again, I'm no child pornographer. Excuse me, not pornographer. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So I don't know what really gets these guys going. You know what I mean? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
I'll tell you
obviously the dude's a real piece of shit.
Well, and here's the thing too. He says that he thinks that he threw the bag out, but other employees can claim that day they did do one root beer float and about 40 milkshakes throughout the day. So there is a chance that some unknowing customers got some special sauce in their milk beverage that day. And I'm going to just take a little drink for them right now. If
I will too. I've got a backup here.
Oh, look at you, always coming prepared to the show. You know what? I'm super proud of you today, Bob. You reviewed all the articles for today's topics. You were on time today. You made your drink. You had backup drinks. Is there anything you haven't done today?
Today, yeah, because yesterday I built a retaining wall and set up a pool. Cool, knocked it all out yesterday. Knocked it all out.
I folded my laundry, so fuck you. You know what I mean?
That'll never do that.
Good for you, buddy.
I do it all wrong, so I just quit trying. So that was my thing. If I sabotage it enough, my wife will just get tired of my futile attempts and just eventually ban me from doing it. So
I guess that's the way to do it, right? Just kind of keep fucking up so you just never have that responsibility. You're like, look, I do the laundry, but you know me, I'm all thumbs out there.
I don't know. Last time I gave our teenager your panties, and it was really awkward. You shouldn't have me doing laundry. I'm just no good at it.
Yeah, and it's never good when he wears them too. Jeez, you got to really make sure that that's lined up here. Well, I'll tell you what, man.
Any day now, he's going to bring this back and ask questions. Any day now, 3 days later. Any day now.
Bob, speaking of the new Florida, Washington, I'm feeling like we got to get back to the original for a minute here, if you don't mind. And I love articles that start out, especially when they're from odd or funny news sources that say Florida man. Because, you know, when you hear that, like I always like, I'm doing something else. Florida man. I'm like, what's that?
Because you know it's going to be fucked up and good. You know it.
Yeah, I lean into it. I'm like, what's going on, Florida man? How we doing here? But this guy, I don't know, Bob. This was a kid. I believe he was in his 20s. Obviously extremely upset. I believe it was inflation and the price of gas that was really getting to this guy. It had to be, right? Because he keeps looking at those silly little meme decal stickers that everybody's been sticking on the pump.
Biden did this.
Yeah, I did this. I did that. You know, so he got so infuriated as he filled up his. I want to say probably a 350. You know,
it's like a diesel truck. That's
yes,
like
absolutely.
$6 a gallon.
It's lifted, has like over exaggerated monster truck tires. You know what I mean?
Of course. I don't know why I have to pay so much in gas. My fucking Dodge Neon truck here doesn't get great gas.
Dodge Neon. Talk about going back. Do they even make the Neon anymore? That's like a late 90s. Like,
probably not.
Oh, well, RIP Dodge Neon. I'm going to take another drink for you. Mm-hmm.
But we all get it. This guy's basically gets fed up, and it's like, this is an emergency. This is a police emergency. And he calls 911. I have a crime to report. We need to arrest Joe Biden.
Oh, hey, you know what? At least he's doing something about it vocally. We always tell people on the show here, hey, if you got a problem with the rules, the regulations, or what the government's doing, talk to your congressman. And he's doing what he thinks is probably the next best thing. And in fact, he wants instant gratification, Bob. So he's not going to just send a letter to his congressman. He's going to bypass that step. And I mean, who can really put the brakes on what Joe Biden's doing right now? The local Miami PD, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Even better. The local, like 28-year-old 911 dispatch lady.
Exactly.
She's gonna fix it for me.
Exactly. Now he was told, and this was probably a big shock to him. I'm sure he spit out his Arby's he was eating in just disgust and shock when they said this. Earl, sir, I appreciate what you're doing. I also have a lifted Dodge Neon truck, and it does cost. See, this is like, isn't this like 101, like 911 operators? Like, first, empathize with the problem, empathize with the person that's calling, show them you understand, calm them down, right? So she's like pulling out like rule one. I too have a lifted Dodge Neon truck with glass packs. Boy, that thing fucking sounds mean on the
with the exhaust coming up through the bed of the truck, so I could just roll coal all over Priuses and Teslas.
Right. It also cost me $375 to fill my tank, and I only needed a quarter tank the other day. So I feel you, I got you. But at the end of the day, this is going to shock you, but this is really a non-emergency call that you're making here. This is bullshit. So we're going to have to ask you, please don't do that, because I believe this is like, it's not a felony, but it's a misdemeanor to call 911 with a fake emergency, right? With a non-life threatening
or like
kind of thing.
Not knowing once, or an accident, or a kid dialing in, not knowing, or whatever. They're pretty lenient with that. But this guy called, I think it was like several times, at least 3 times, right?
Yes, at least 3 times. And the funny thing is, after he was told that like it was illegal to do so, he was like, well, maybe I'm not speaking loud enough. So
I'm getting the wrong dispatch. The next time I call in, I'm going to get the right dispatch that has power.
You know what he did? He went and fixed his hair in the bathroom, and he put on his best Karen, and he came out. I was like, you know what? Okay, look, I talked to you last time. Can I speak to your manager? This is like a for real, legit, like an emergency. We need to get Joe Biden out of the White House right now, and you can do this. If you can't do it, let me talk to your manager, right? But what's so funny is they actually dispatched the police there, and this is great. They get to this guy's house. They kick down his door. He's on the phone again with 911.
Of course he is.
I'm sure it was a smooth little tactic. Like, all right, who is this? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Oh my God. You're requesting that Joe Biden be arrested? Yeah, I agree 100%. Let me put you on a quick hold and we'll be right with you. And he's like, doo, 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 doo. And like,
can you tell me in detail what happened?
Send it to Calvary.
Are you okay? Do you have any injuries? Yes. Do you know the name of the assailant? Yeah. Can you tell me what happened? Meanwhile, they're like watching the GPS as the cops roll up to his house.
And just buy some time for us. We're gonna get this punk, right? But then they arrested the guy, they charged him. He did have to pay, which again, it's like, it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but he had to pay $150 bail. So call it what it is. That's a $1,500 bail, if my memory serves me right. When you get when you post bail through a bail bondsman, you pay 10%, right? So
Yeah,
I believe $1,500 bail, paying $150 to get out. It's still a crime, so they took it serious enough.
that's a lot for a phone call.
Hey, that's more than any collect call I made from a payphone. But you know what? Again, I got to give this guy some kudos here. He was out there at least using his voice, trying to do something, and at least he wasn't storming the Capitol. You know what I mean? At least he wasn't threatening other people or taking advantage of less fortunate people. He was going straight to the source in his mind, right? He's like, hey, who can do shit? The cops, right? And what do I need done? I need somebody arrested. He put it together in his head. Cops arrested Joe Biden. What do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean this is not life-threatening? Come on now, folks. But God bless that Florida man. And just because of that guy, I'm going to go ahead and take one more drink here.
And you should. And it's been making news lately, right? We've got Poland and Switzerland trying to join the NATO, right?
Is Sweden and
Sweden,
Finland, Sweden and Finland,
Finland, right? They're trying to catch up. Something else is going on in Europe that's very westernized.
What's that?
And it caught our eye. And that's in an espresso warehouse in Switzerland.
Good old Swiss company, Nestle, right? What a great company,
Nestle,
by the way.
Right?
Yes,
so obviously there's some logistics that are being taken advantage by a pretty corrupt syndicate that also work for Nestle, allegedly.
Yes. Yes,
so in the Nestle warehouse, in between espresso beans,
green beans too,
500 kilos of cocaine, and the even more impressive than someone getting 500 kilos from, I think it was coming from Brazil to Switzerland, was that it was 80% pure. Americans really need to step up their game. The Europeans are just outdoing us on everything.
You know what? And they just kind of fell ass backwards into this one. But this is if we throw back to the movie Blow, this is a fuck me running 80%. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to be woo off that. So yeah, that's some teed up stuff right there. Fantastic. But yeah, pretty eye-opening. I mean, it's kind of ironic that it was found in a big pile of other weaker stimulants, right? But at the same time, that's a lot of shit right there. So,
and just on the street value of 50
million or $500
million,
something like that.
Apparently 500 keys, $50 million. So, right, I guess it's $1 million for 10 kilos is the going rate these days of street value. I don't know. I don't sell Coke, but if I did,
no shit,
I'd probably get a job in Nestle, because apparently they have no problem. But what a weird thing. Just to get an imagine of what 50 keys looks like. That's half a ton of cocaine. That is a lot. That's like a fucking Volkswagen of cocaine.
It's a much faster Volkswagen. You know what I'm saying? We're doing 0 to 60 in 3-4 seconds in that bad boy. Yeah, that's interesting. That's really, and you know what? God bless them. Whoever was doing the transit there, I'm sure they're very upset about this, that they're losing quite a load. You know what I mean? And I got to kind of wonder, is Nestle taking advantage of this? Are they synergizing this fine, so to speak, with their current product and rolling out a temporary limited time, very high grade Nespresso blend? You know what I mean? I mean, you would only imagine that would probably do very well. So
do you think there's some mob boss that works in the board of Nestle that's hey, who the fuck got our keys snipped, huh?
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to see that. Just kind of stowed away in millions of green coffee beans, a Volkswagen, as Bob said, of cocaine, and very high quality cocaine at that. I mean, Jesus Christ, let's see, 500. Did you say 500 keys?
Yes.
Boy, just so everybody doesn't know, because I know euros and dollars and all that shit. If that was equivalent to the strength and quantity in the US, that'd be 2 million keys, you know what I mean, in the US, because you have to like step all over it with rat poison and B vitamins and all that kind of stuff.
And
It's a lot more here. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean?
You gotta get your Coke with fentanyl these days, because everything has fentanyl.
My toothpaste has fentanyl in it. And I'll tell you what, I usually brush my teeth right before I go to bed just because of that. You know what I mean?
I bet it was great too. So
that's horrible.
Very interesting. I don't know. All I know is there's a bunch of Europeans right now that are not going to be higher than a kite.
That's for sure. You know what? And if you scoot over a little bit to Asia, there's some interesting stuff going on there too. Going to India real quick, Bob. I'm sure you saw this too. One of our great stories here. And I kind of like this. We talked about it earlier in the week here. I mean, when you have children, Bob, the one thing I don't know about you, but when I had my child and you had your children, I know right out of the gate, you're like kind of writing out a business plan for your ROI for that kid, like right out of the gate, right? You're like, okay, look, I'm going to have this kid. I'm going to invest in this kid. And then what am I going to get back for it? Gratification, love. Now, fuck all that shit. I want to make sure that I get grandchildren. If I don't get grandchildren, then this is really not worth it. You know what I mean? So, okay, cool. Got it. Great. Break. And you're out of there. Right. So apparently an elderly couple, meaning in their mid 60s or so, not super old, in India.
Which is not that much older than us anymore.
That's why I kind of backpedaled a little bit on that one. Yes. But apparently what happened is this little scenario is running out here did happen to a really just poor old couple in India. And now granted, there they are right there. Oh my God. If they are not stereotypically looking just that, but seriously, just poor Indian couple there. But they had a son and they took really good care of this kid. He went through the ringer here, did all kinds of like schooling in India. Then they sent him over to the United States. So we go to flight school to become a pilot. I mean, they're thinking like, hey dude, he's going to be a pilot. He's probably going to give us like 20 grandchildren. This is going to be amazing. I can like own a discovery zone and just have little kids running around all the time.
Full disclosure, in India, if you're a pilot, you might as well be Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. It's like, look, save a little pussy for the rest of us, homie. Had to throw it in there, Bob.
This guy is just flying seed all over the country, just producing children. At least that's the thought process from these grandparents, right? This guy is like air mailing semen drops, flying over Yom Kippur and shit.
Now, be it that as it may, that these people may be a little bit delusional of what they were actually, the expectations that they were going to get there for their son. You know, I mean, still, they did all this. They invested heavily in the kid. Then he sees a girl that he likes, right? I mean, he's going port to port, airport to airport, or whatever. He's not really getting it done. Finds a woman he likes. They said, you know what? We're going to pay for the wedding. We're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to do it. We're going to do a big shebang of a wedding. And again, the dad is like, okay, I'm going to also invest here a little bit. I'm doubling down on my stock that's been going down for a little bit, but I think it's going to go back up. I'm playing the long game here, Bob. And he did just that. He paid for the wedding. It's now been 6 years, no kids. And I just think it's really because they stick to anal sex, but whatever it is, right? They have now literally sued the son and his wife. I don't know how they brought this poor woman into it. Maybe she can't have kids. I'm not sure what the issue, that would be sad, but they are literally, I don't know exactly the terms for what they're suing for, but essentially he is suing saying that, hey, you have not given me a grandchild yet. It's been 6 years since you've been married. I've heavily invested in you. Now it's time. Come on, let's go. Let's pop out that kid. And I don't know where this stands, Bob, but what do you think about this? Is this insane or is this warranted to a certain extent?
It's pretty insane. In fact, it reminds me of like some Handmaid's Tale shit. Like, are the grandparents like holding the young bride down, like so that
sorry,
they can get their son like, to impregnate her? You know what I mean?
One's got one leg, one's got the other leg. She's like upside down. I was like, come on, son, come on, just back it in.
Right, they're calling him commander and shit, telling him to get in there.
Oh my goodness.
It's very, very strange. But the weirdest part about all of this isn't even the case, everything. It's that they actually filed it and it went and it got approved to proceed as an actual case to be tried. So this thing is actually moving forward. We'll try to keep tabs on it and circle back when we get a chance. But what
it's got
a
legs.
weird scenario.
Yeah, it's got legs, and that is interesting to me. Now, I was talking about this story with Jamie earlier in the week, and she's like, you know what? Outside of like the well-to-do places like Dubai and a couple others, some parts of India are pretty fucked up in the sense like they are way back in time with women's rights and just other things like that. So I guess it's not ultra surprising kind of with that being the light shed there, but still it seems like this would be laughed right out of the courtroom. I mean, that's how it would happen in the United States. I don't even think this would be even heard in a courtroom in the United States.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in the South.
I guess so.
Just being honest, just keeping it real. So, I mean, how are we doing on time? Because we have a couple of things listed here, but it feels like we're up against it. I think we spent a lot of time on the poop phone.
We're doing okay here. We've got about 10 minutes or so. I'm actually keeping track today. Check it out.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at us. We're learning.
Yes.
100 shows in and we'll learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. What else is on your mind, Bobby? Come on. I know it's itching to get out.
Well, so I'll go ahead and start here. Congress held a public hearing last week. Was it last week?
Thursday.
Yeah, last week, Thursday. To discuss UFOs with the military for the first time in over 50 years.
Yeah.
That's something that people need to pay attention to. And I think it kind of blows my mind that since 2017, when the Navy first showed us that footage, right? Does no one care that there's like fucking aliens flying around? The government's admitting as much, and it's making like headlines in mainstream media even, and like no one just brushing this one right under. Because like when I hear of UFO sightings and I see it on like the Weekly World News and shit, okay, whatever. When I see it on some like one-off like People or something, whatever. But when it's on fucking C-SPAN, we need to pay attention to what's going down here.
Well, you know what? We've talked about this kind of before in the sense that now is the perfect time to just kind of like just have this be another story in the news cycle. And like you said, just kind of swept up under the rug. You're like, there's a war here, inflation here. This is crumbling. Stocks are down. You're like, a big green man slapped his big green cock against my mom's face and then got in his spaceship and took off. Yeah, no big deal. Anyways, like gas is $6 now. What's going on?
Anyways,
like,
gas, Ukraine, fucking, abortion rights. Like here, look at all this, guys. Look at all this. Just get those aliens out of here.
Yeah, look, this alien just literally stared at this guy and blew up his head and then took off in his Uber. But yeah, nobody really cares. And it's interesting too, if that article was correct, it says that they had miscounted how many UFO sightings there have been in the past year. But apparently they had missed over 250 sightings that now they've compiled now over 400 and some odd sightings in just the past year. Now, a lot of this they're saying is due to there's a lot more drones in the sky now. There's a lot more weather balloons. There's all kinds of stuff now in the sky for way more reasons. But also they said, which I thought was kind of funny, they've done their damnedest to try to remove the stigma of people that come forward about UFOs, because historically these are people that are Pizzagate flat earthers. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of remove that.
That's what they get. That's what they get categorized as, right? And we talked about this on a different show where we talked about UFOs, where pilots and military personnel are reluctant to come forward with their experiences because it fucks their career over, right? So they don't like to do it. So
they lose all credibility.
Right. So they're trying to get it now to where, they're trying to change the culture of the military to encourage this kind of behavior. And I think they're putting it more of a national security spotlight to make sure that if you come forward now, you're being patriotic to report this shit, right? So I think they're trying to change the whole stigma of it all, like you had said. But they said that like 200 of those or 100 and something of those that had come forward in the last year were actually people that were reluctant the last time these interviews came around to bring it up then when they made their first report to Congress. Right. And now those people have since come forward. So they said like half of them. And the reason that they've gone up so much in the last year was those people are now like more confident and are coming forward with their stories. But I just saw one the other day from a Navy pilot that was just recording, and there was just like some crazy lights all in a row, and they were like jumping and being weird and all perfectly symmetrical, lined up and timed up, and very strange, unexplainable. And the military keeps saying there's no proof that these are extraterrestrial, but they're also not saying that there's proof that they're not, right? So, yeah, okay, you can either confirm nor deny that they're extraterrestrial. We get it. That's been the fucking phrase for decades in the
100 years. I mean, we'll just say that 100 years, let's call it what it is. Well, it's interesting too, because I thought there was a key component of this article too that struck me just as like, okay, well then what are we going to get that's non-filtered in the sense of reportings too? Because with this uptick of sightings and people more willing to come forward, they did underline, they double underline that now with so many more, they still have to evaluate each case on a case-by-case basis to see if it's worthy of being publicized, which I thought was interesting because like how many of those are like, whoa, this is too fucking intense. Let's put this one back in the vault. Nobody can handle that shit right now. Gas is $6. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to me because there's a lot more, but there's still heavy filters on what we can actually know about and what who knows, you know,
what's crazy? If this story was a headline in the 90s, even, it'd be dominating the headlines nonstop for months.
Yeah.
It would be all UFO and all this other stuff, the Ukraine war, gas prices, inflation. It would all be peripheral headlines, right? But the powers that be have decided what articles that and what stories that we need to focus on as a people. And they're for the most part inconsequential, not to belittle someone that's struggling paying gas. I get it. That fucking sucks. But we could have a species that's like, going to eliminate the human race. That's a little bit more profound than, your gas prices.
Or save us all. You know what I mean? As we're slowly demolishing our own.
Are they going to lower gas prices?
Are they going to get Joe Biden out of the White House and arrest his ass? Like, seriously here.
Are they going to come up with some sort of like hand withdrawal device to bring your phone back to your hand so you don't fall into fucking toilets?
Oh, and you mentioned something too. They've been doing a lot to really kind of remove the stigma about coming out and like telling your story about your UFO sightings. You really neglected to say like the carrot that they've thrown out there, the U.S. government, to get this done. So they've been giving people gift certificates to Arby's for milkshakes. That's been the big thing right there. And, people have just getting all over that. Ever since they changed the secret formula for Arby's milkshakes, it's really done wonders in getting people to step out into the light. So there's that.
Arby's. Where's the Nespressos?
Seriously. Oh, my goodness.
I think we have the one last salute. And to me, this is a salute. I actually own this game on a modern gaming system, Miss Pac-Man. I have it on the Switch. I bought it. They've got all new maps. They've revamped it. It's wonderful.
Wow.
But Miss Pac-Man recently made the Hall of Fame. And for those that don't know, about what was it, 8 years ago now?
Yeah.
They started the annual Hall of Fame nominations, and there's a video game Hall of Fame, and there were some great contestants that went in this year. There was some Zelda, some Sid Meier's Civilization. It was great contestants. But the one that really take away is Mrs. Pac-Man Ms. Pac-Man.
Hey, she's still single.
She never married that fucking lowlife.
No way. She's still available, and I am still looking. You know what I mean?
That pellet munching lowlife.
No. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, seriously, probably my favorite game ever to play at the arcade is Miss Pac-Man. I don't think there's one that trumps that. And I go to, every time I go to Dave & Buster's or anywhere where this game is, I probably spend a good, at least, no shit, half hour to an hour just chugging away. And I do even have I can't, when I looked it up, the unofficial like 47th all-time high score record in Miss Pac-Man history too. So there is that. So this was really exciting for me that it got its nod, and apparently it kind of broke the mold here with gender gaming, so to speak, because apparently they came out with this sequel to Pac-Man in 1981 to give a nod to the females that were also becoming more popular in playing video games in the early 80s. So progress.
So without Miss Pac-Man, we'd never have Lara Croft.
Correct. Without Miss Pac-Man, we'd never have Lara Croft, and without Miss Pac-Man, I'm not sure what else we wouldn't have, but we wouldn't have nearly as many hours of satisfaction as I have in my body now. So there's that.
Well, one time I beat Miss Pac-Man on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, wow.
Just gonna throw that out there.
You just had to fucking one up me, didn't you, dude? You just had to one up.
So it's a pretty epic game. It really is. And it really takes months to play it and get in the zone and get your rhythm down and figure out
you got to get the patterns, baby. You got to get the patterns.
And more than the patterns, you just got to get like your reactions as to how the ghosts are going to go. And essentially it's the patterns, but it's just a really good game. And it's a kind of a profound game. As Pac-Man was in general.
You see, I was never much of a Pac-Man fan. I was always more of a Miss Pac-Man fan. It had nothing to do with just the subtle difference of the bow in her hair. I don't know if a little dot has hair, whatever it is, but I thought it was always a much more fun game. Better boards altogether. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, Miss Pac-Man is by far, it's one of my most all-time played games, according to my gamer score.
Oh. Good on you. Now, the other one that made it in that I thought was pretty interesting, and it made total sense, Dance Dance Revolution, that came out in
DDR,
Japan.
Yeah.
It came out in Japan in 1998. And I thought about it. I was like, no, it does make sense. It kind of like paved the way for music influenced games like Guitar Hero and what was the other one? Rock Band, right? So kudos to Dance Dance Revolution. There's always something about a game that actually makes you get off your fucking ass and sweat a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of the opposite of what people have in their head about gamers sometimes. So it kind of broke the mold there, like an active game, so to speak. So kudos to all the games. I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest, until we read this article.
And now I'm going to be like looking every year, like, how can I vote for this?
Yeah. Well, apparently you've got to be like some pretty big shit. You could potentially mosey your way in to be one of the judges, apparently, but I'm not quite sure how to do it, but you got to have some pedigree. So you better start beefing your shit up is all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? You got to flex.
I'm going to look into how that, if any of the stiffies found out how to vote in the Video Game Hall of Fame nominations, please chime in. Well,
and please, when you chime in, save some pussy for the rest of us.
Someone's gonna like hit us up with a video with like a harem of girls like, I'm a Hall of Fame voter. It's just all these bikini clad girls are all around and like, you guys think that we never get laid.
You got 20,000 hours on console games. Pretty impressive.
They're like, oh, I love it.
Oh, well, Bob, I think we are about out of time, my friend. This was a very fun show, though. Did you have fun?
I have a great time every week, but I loved the topics. I love the show. I really love the poop conversation as per usual. I'm a poop conversation fan.
You're a big poopy kind of guy.
I'm not even afraid to admit it, and I have no shame, so that doesn't matter.
Bob he loves shit. He really does. He's all about shit. But
like us, guys, subscribe, spread the word, get people in. Next week we will not be having a show.
That's correct. We will be doing in-person gatherings.
So we'll probably be posting a couple of TikToks in the pool with some drinks, wearing stiff truth swag. I'm just saying.
So, guys, until next time, we love you all, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Peace.